Hello, welcome to Motorline. Driving an EV around town is not really stressful. You can easily get charges and regenerative braking increase the range. However, driving on a motorway is a totally different thing. Higher revolution of motor spends much more energy. Even you cannot use a regenerative braking system and you can't easily get charges. Additionally, air resistance reduces the range. For these reasons, cruising an EV at high speed could be more stressful than driving around town. So we measure the 70 miles per hour range of many EVs, which is legal top speed on a Korean motorway. But, that's not a top speed that cars can produce. You sometimes might need to drive over 70-80 miles per hour because you are driving on autobahn, or you have urgent business, or the road is empty. So we started wondering that how long the EVs can go at 100 miles per hour. To find out 100 miles per hour range, we set 14 different EVs on this speedway. These, the 14 electric cars. To charge perfectly, we carry the mobile chargers and set the tires pressure by the manuals. For precise speed measuring, we set the GPS trackers. Everything is set. And the tests start. The drivers are following the Kia Sorento hybrid, which keeps the speed as well. To minimize the slipstream from the cars in front, they keep the safe distance of 100 meters. Electric cars are affected by weather conditions more than internal combustion engine cars. The temperature was 11.8 Celsius degree and the wind speed was 2.5 meters per sec. There's one more thing you need to know, is that the speedway has banked corners. This probably pushed the cost down and decreased efficiency, so use the result only for comparison. The cars are lined up by Korean official high-speed range. About an hour passed since the test started. We stopped the cars for driver safety and interim review. After the break, we started. Probably some cars will be stopped soon, especially Kia EV6. VW ID4 battery remains at 23% and the EV6 remains at 12%. It probably will get down under 10% soon. Driving distance 111 miles, EV6 marks under 10%. However, EQS 450 Plus still has 50%. ID4 got a battery warning at 90%. Model Y has a 70%. Kia EV6 has a 2% and got a speed limit. The Kia EV6 driver is trying to speed up, but he cannot drive over 62 miles per hour. For safe driving, Kia EV6 driver changes the lane. Mercedes EQS 450 Plus is still marking 45%. Remarkable. EV6 dies first. The driver turns on the emergency lights and finishes the driving. Total driving distance is 124 miles. Unlike EV6, ID4 doesn't have a speed limit even though it has only 2% of a battery. It is still keeping 100 miles per hour at 1% of battery. Taycan 4S secondly marks 0%. It is coming into the pit. Few minutes later, ID4's battery runs out. Volkswagen ID4 takes the 12th place. But the front-runner EQS 450 Plus is still showing off 37%. Tesla Model Y finishes driving after ID4. The total mileage is 147 miles. Genesis G80 marks 6% and gets battery warning at the same time. Polestar 2 has 4% of battery and gets a speed limit. Porsche Taycan 4S Cross Turismo dies, and Audi RS3 GT also dies almost at the same time. 6 cars have died among 14 electric cars. Genesis and Polestar is getting closer to the end of the test. Genesis G80 remains only 1%. Tesla Model 3 has 9% and Hyundai Ioniq 6 has 8% of battery. Model 3 and Ioniq 6 are very close, so which one will die first? For those 2 cars, Polestar dies and takes the 8th place. After the Polestar, Genesis and BMW i4 M50 finish the driving. They are quite close, but eventually BMW wins. After 2 hours passed, only 5 cars have survived. Model 3 and Ioniq 6 are also coming to the end of the driving. Ioniq dies before Tesla Model 3. Tesla Model 3 beats Hyundai Ioniq 6, but they are very close. Only 3 cars have survived, 2 EQS and BMW iX M60. The last 3 cars are running even until sun goes down. The scene with the 3 cars turning on headlamps on the speedway very seems like endurance race. And eventually, the winner of the last 3 cars, iX M60, finished the driving and takes the 3rd place. Winner of the EQS 350 is getting close to the end of the test, but 450 Plus is still have even 20% of battery. That's insane.
자, EQS 2대 다 들어오세요.
Yep, EQS 450 didn't touch the bottom of the battery. It's time to compare the results between 70 mph test and 100 mph test. The ranking has been changed. Genesis G80 goes longer than Tesla Model 3 and BMW iX M60 at 70 mph. However, at 100 mph, G80 goes less than the others. Kia EV6 also dropped. At 70 mph tests, it goes longer than Audi RS3 GT and Taycan 4S Cross Turismo, but in the 100 mph test, it died first. Tesla Model Y also took a lower ranking. However, Model 3 from the same manufacturer took a higher place in the 100 mph test. Moreover, it marked the highest efficiency among the test cars. In the test, we checked the EV's range could be changed a lot by the speed. Shortly, there's almost no chance to keep driving at 100 mph on the public road. But still, we hope that this video is helpful and enjoyable for you. If you got any thoughts, please leave comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please push the like button. Thank you for watching.